everyone, my name is Michael Wong. I'm an Australian lawyer. In the last video, we talked about house and land package. However, we haven't talked about the contract because there is one very important step we have to go through before we sign the contract, which is color selection. If you have anything you'd like to upgrade the home appliance or the renovation or design, you will have to put it into the contract so that you are covered. So today we are going to go through a studio and talk about what you have to consider during the color selection. Remember, if you like this video, give us a thumb up, share this video to your friends, comment our video, subscribe our channel and hit the reminder bell so that next time if we got a new video, we can remind you. Let's go and see what we have to consider in the color selection. We're very happy today to have Laurie from the Design Roofs, which is one of our builders' partner. They do color selection. What color selection means actually to choose whatever you want to pick for your dream home. So Laurie here today will talk about it, guide you through the whole process, and we'll also talk about what should we consider when we do the color selection. So our client base is mainly Asians, and I understand that you have experience to talk to Asians about the color selection, what they have to consider in Australia's context. So what they should consider.
The first thing is, I guess, where they want to build and making sure they choose a house that's suitable to that block and that size. It's knowing what the rest of the neighbourhood looks like. You would like to put a house that suits. You don't want to put something that's going to look out of place. We always start with the external colours, the bricks, the roof, driveway, windows. Not as many options, but really important. Do you want charcoals or do you want whites? Do you want browns?
I understand that in some local councils, they have their own rules saying that you cannot have the identical or very similar facade next to each other. So how do you deal with it?
Well, it's really important. So if you're building out of city, there's a DA requirement, so that's developer approval. They list a lot of detail with how much render, how much brick, the colours, and then we always try and look at what else is on that street, and it's really first investor. So if you can be one of the first ones to build on that street, you can then determine what the other houses do.
So that's the main point here. You have to sign a contract as soon as you want to start building.
Yes.
Okay, so what Australians think about the facade? They love the darker colour or the lighter colour?
I think there's a trend in Victoria. We're quite a dark state, so we use a lot of black and charcoal colours, like us. Very timeless. In other states, though, very light. Queensland, Sydney, much lighter. In Melbourne, we do a lot of dark brick with some white render. It really depends on where you build. You might want fully render with the black windows to give it some contrast.
Okay, that's the new English word for our Asian clients. What is render?
Render, so it's a textured finish instead of seeing brick. So what you do when you have a brick, you're going to see a mortar join, which is quite a detail. Some people prefer a very clean finish. It's still got texture though, so it's still very sturdy and strong, but you don't see all the individual pieces. Okay,
and I've seen some buildings or some houses, they use like a rock style on the render or the pillar. Is it very trendy?
No.
No? I love it.
Well, we were doing it a lot maybe 5-10 years ago. At the minute, the trend is less is more.
So, render.
Render and contrast in window, having a darker roof colour. You've got to remember you then add landscape out the front, so that adds greenery. You add your fence, driveway. So sometimes a modern, clean facade are the best.
Okay, modern facade. How about now internal? So in the internal, I understand that in very typical Australian houses, we've got lounge room, sitting room, whatever you would like to call it. But it got I think 3-4 sitting rooms, is it?
Yes.
That is not quite Asian style. So how would you suggest Asian clients?
I guess the big thing that we ask our clients is, do you have relatives coming to stay? Are they there for 3 months, 6 months? Do you have older kids who are studying? They might need a separate living area so they can have study groups over, quiet time. So it's really getting to know the individual, and if they've got family coming from overseas and staying, they might want a bedroom downstairs with a bathroom, maybe a TV area, and the rest of the family can live up.
Very true. I remember that like a few years ago when my brother graduated from universities, I had my own house in northern suburbs. We cater 14 people in one house for about 2 weeks. Yes. Luckily, we've got the theater, very big theater.
You can convert.
Yeah, we can convert. And then some rooms are quite big. We got the inflatable bed or whatever. Yeah, it's a good idea. All right. How about like they have to consider we sell after a few years sometimes. If they only consider their own living style or the Asian living styles, it might not be attractive to Australian people. So how can they maintain the flexibility?
I think it's really important to spend money in the kitchen. So typical, there's a working kitchen out the back so that you've got your cooking appliances. So it's more of a, you can spend some less money, but it's still practical. Out the front, you can upgrade your stone colours. It's very common that you want to have something with some vein, something that looks beautiful. Where the back house, where you're doing the everyday cooking, you make the mess, no one sees it, you don't have to spend as much. So it's knowing where to spend the money.
Okay, that's the wise person who will make the decision.
Exactly, that's my job.
Yes. All right, I remember when I was in Hong Kong, sometimes you got complaint from the downstairs neighbor. And then because we work very strong.
Yes.
So when I built my own home in Australia, I actually focus on that part.
Yes.
We have a thicker insulation or a layer of mat underneath the carpet.
Yes.
So would you suggest that as well?
There's lots of different materials, so I can show you something here. So if it is a 2-storey home, you can certainly upgrade your underlay, so that sits on top of the floor, the substrate, and then you can add some beautiful carpet. I find a lot of my Asian clients actually want timber flooring throughout.
Yes.
And then they add their beautiful rugs.
Yes, but it's not so common on the second level, is it?
Lately, yes. We're doing it more so. So even my house, we've done timber on both levels with beautiful rugs.
Okay, cool.
Because you have the timber staircase, and typically clients would like that stained, not carpet. Carpet's sort of seen as entry level. Fine if you're going to sell it, not live in it. But if you want a grand staircase, which is important in a double story, you upgrade. And then you want the same floor covering.
Okay. In Australia, and compared to Asia, especially Hong Kong, China, the weather is a bit different. In Hong Kong, it's like very hot. We got a very strong air conditioning. In China as well, our condition is in heater.
Yes.
Or very strong cooler. But in Australia, especially in Melbourne, the weather is quite extreme.
It is. Changes.
Yes, changes. So in terms of weather, would you suggest us anything?
Well, from personal experience, we have a gas fireplace, so very easy to operate.
Gas fire?
Gas. So you push a button and it starts.
Okay.
That could be in the ground floor, in the main living where you're eating, watching TV, dining.
It sounds fancy.
But it's value. You're adding value, and it's a feature of the room.
Okay.
Where in the other areas you can have zoned heating and cooling. So you're only heating and cooling when you need to, because a large house costs a lot to maintain. And like you said, sometimes you don't need to heat upstairs. If you're only sleeping up there, you don't need to heat the whole house at once.
Sure. So maybe a zone air conditioning.
Correct.
Okay.
Very important.
Yeah, very important. Okay. I understand that the Asian kitchen, as you said last time, sometimes Asian do a lot of pan fry.
Yes.
Stir fries.
Yes.
Deep fries.
Yes.
Whatever fries.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of the kitchen, would you suggest anything?
Definitely. If you want to come across, I'll show you some. So with appliances, one of the questions is, do you like to cook? Because if you do, you need something that's going to have the right suction. It's really important to invest in your range hood. That's going to extract the fat and the smell. And then it's selecting a cooktop that suits your needs. So obviously the wok burner, gas, you can get a mixture of two. So at my house, you can have the wok burner with the smooth glass so that it's easy to clean. And there's lots of different colours at the moment. The darker colours are definitely on trend.
Maybe the dark color in Melbourne, is it?
Yes.
All right, so that's another appliance we can think about it, like the built into the wall oven and microwave.
Yes.
Will it add value to a house for reselling price?
I would say it depends where you're building. If you're building in the outer suburbs, maybe not. But if you're building inner city Melbourne, yes.
Okay.
So this is a steam and a combi, so it means you can reheat food without using a microwave.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Reheat food without a microwave. That's a bit different to the Asian style.
Yes.
But I remember that for some food in Australia, reheating in the oven will be a lot better.
Yes.
Especially pizza.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
and
some
dumplings
pasta.
in the steam oven.
Yes,
Very
awesome.
good.
So some of the appliances here can make your house more attractive, more beautiful, and more stylish. So would you suggest anything here?
I think it's really important to think about how you enter and exit the building. A lot of people have lots of kids, a cleaner, the gardener. So we can now offer some sort of a door locking system where it's a keypad or a swipe, and it means that you can track on your phone who's coming and who's going.
Okay, it's kind of security then.
Yes.
Okay, so do you guys actually do the security cameras, alarms, and all this stuff?
Yes.
Is it essential in the Australian?
I think if you have the budget, you would definitely put an allowance in. And these days, you don't need to spend a lot. The systems have come down in price, much better technology, and they're all linked back to your phone.
Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So when you're working, you still monitor your home.
Correct.
Very
Because
good.
sometimes you might want to go overseas, lock up the house and know it's safe.
Awesome, that's awesome. I've never had a security system at home because I live in an apartment
Yes.
now at the moment. Yeah, I've never think about it. Next time if I got a house, I will definitely think about a security system. How about entertainment?
Entertainment, look, the big thing I would say to clients, and this is probably more when you're trying to furnish it at the end, you don't need to build in speakers anymore. You can get the sound bar and the speakers that don't have any wires. So very easy to update because technology changes
Yes,
so often.
Bluetooth.
You don't want to build things in everywhere because it goes out of date in the next year.
All right, cool. So we have talked so many about the updates. They are not the standard update, I believe.
No, so it's very important to understand what the builder is giving you as your standard inclusions, and that will be in the contract of
Yes.
sale.
So make sure if you like anything that's extra or additional to the standard inclusion, make sure you have checked the contract.
Yes.
Everything has to be put down in the contract so that it's included for the contract. The builder has to build according to the contract. If you not actually have these items on the contract, then you're not covered. Thank you, Laurie, today.
My pleasure.
All right, that's everything about the color selection. Remember that that's very important. If you like to upgrade anything in your building, please put everything into the contract. Otherwise, you will not be covered. That's all for today. If you like this video, please remember, like our video, give us a thumb up, comment our video, share our video to your friends, subscribe our channel, and hit the reminder bell. So the next time, if we've got new videos, I will remind you. Thanks a lot. See you next time.